Howdy folks, my name is Mo. This is Reseller Niche, where we discuss reselling on eBay and Amazon and plenty of other places like Etsy, Mercari, and Posh Marketplace. Today I'm going to be discussing 21 used items that I sell online to make money on eBay, and I did this in the last week or 10 days of July 2021. Let's get right into it. I always like selling soccer related stuff. This is actually not a soccer related shirt, but it looks like one. It's a Nike Dry Fit CrossFit shirt, but the design makes it look like the actual current men's national team shirt. Theirs is red, blue, and white. This one is actually green, but it's still sold for $29.99 plus shipping, so I am very happy with that sale. Next up, we have an Akeem Olajuwon Rockets NBA Hoops unopened action photo. I've sold a few of these in the past. They are not big money makers, and they are kind of slow to sell. This one was sold for $9.99 plus. No, actually, sorry, that sold for $10.81, including tax and shipping there. And I had about 10 cents into this. I bought a big lot of these, and they're basically just photos that are sealed in plastic, made by NBA Hoops. So happy to see that go. I've got lots of these still to move. Next up, this is an item that I've had for many years. It's a topic hair perfecting tool of some kind. It's an applicator for your hairline or optimizing your hairline. I originally had about 100 of these, down to about 20 to 25, and they sell once every month or so. This one sold for $16.31, including tax and shipping. It weighs about 3 or 4 ounces, so the shipping is very, very light, first class mail. An type of item, I should say, that I sell a lot of. Disney Donald Duck, Bullyland guitar, little plastic figurine. I sell these probably every month. I have a giant lot that I bought probably going on about 6 months ago, and they move every, like I said, once or twice a month, $20.84 out the door for this little guy, and I'm happy to see that go because I basically have pennies into it once I break it down. Okay, next up, I like selling shirts, and Echo Unlimited is actually a brand I don't like to pick up very much, but just because of the kind of the cool, I guess it's a snake lady design here, this one sold. It sold pretty fast actually too, $18.84 for a $1.99 purchase from a thrift. So I'm happy to see that go, and that sold even though it was kind of a regular brand, Echo Unlimited. But if it has a cool design, pick them up because they will move. Okay, next up, this is a lot of Austin Powers movie action figures that I had. Dr. Evil, Mini-Me, obviously Austin Powers, and a few other bits and pieces. I bought this for, I believe, $12.99 about 6 months ago. This one moved on here for $51.89, including tax and shipping. And I had this listed for hire, but it was not moving, so I took the offer that I had there, and you'll see that with a lot of my items. A lot of my items I take offers on just to see them go. Okay, next up, I'm selling a lot of Raiders stuff. I know the football season's going. It's basically here, and preseason, and Raiders stuff is doing well for me. I'm selling, I think in my next What's Sold video, I'll probably have a bunch of jackets that I've sold. This was a warm-up team apparel t-shirt from the Oakland Raiders, which they no longer are. This one sold for $21.36, including tax and shipping out the door. So look out for that stuff. Watch the sports seasons when they begin. And preseason, I do a lot more sales, usually in the preseason or during playoffs and championships for specific teams than I do in the middle of any sporting season. So look out for that. All right, next up, I always pick up vintage video games. This was Mac Arcade Pack vintage game. It was basically a pack of 5 games put together in one, all on disc and in the box, original box, used. But happy to see this one go. This one went really fast, $59.73. This was a 99-cent purchase from the thrift. Not from the original, you might have seen in one of my previous videos where I had a bunch of other vintage games. This one I bought a little bit after that, but I always pick these up if I can. Like I said, 99 cents into $59.73. Just picture everything so they know what format it's going to be on, because if you send them a video game and they think, okay, this is going to be on CD and it's actually on a floppy disk and they don't have a way to play that, then they might be a little bit upset and you might get a return. So watch out for that. All right, next up, I have a vintage t-shirt. This one was basically a local union t-shirt, a vintage one from the 90s, sold for $23.47. I always look up for those vintage tags if I can, even if I'm not exactly sure what they're from. As long as it's, single stitch, vintage tag, a relatively cool logo. This was a nice color too. I'll pick them up for like $1 to $3. And this one sold for $23.47, including tax and shipping. Okay, next up is another t-shirt. This one I picked up in my lot of clothing that I picked up probably about a year ago now. It's a Foxy Brown Pam Grier Superfly t-shirt. And this one was it's actually a retro shirt. It's not a vintage shirt. It's just a repop. But any of these types of things I always pick up. It's just cool. People like them. And this one sold for $23.91 out the door. I had about 50 cents into this one. All right, next up is an item I haven't picked up before. It's a baby piano. And by I mean baby. This is a baby, like a toy piano. It's not a real piano. It was kind of a cool pickup though. It was beaten up, or at least the box was. Schoten Hut, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Schoen Hut baby grand piano. Most of the keys working, some of them did not work. And this one sold for $40.52 out the door. And this was a $4.99 purchase from the thrift. So I took a gamble on this one a few months back and it paid off. So happy to see that one go. Okay, next up, I always talk about tank tops. Year round, I sell them. And this one right here was just a regular Nike dry fit one. The reason I want to highlight this, excuse me, is that this logo is what stood out for me. 99 cents, and that big swoosh, the big logo, I always look out for those if I can, because it just is something that stands out for the buyer, stands out online, looking through those tiny little pictures on your cell phone. So this is the type of thing that I would buy over, say, this exact same shirt with a tiny little logo on the front. I probably would have skipped over that one unless it was dirt cheap. So anyways, this one was $30.58 out the door for a $2.99 purchase. So happy with that one. Okay, next up is a brand, I believe I've talked about this before, even though I have terrible pictures on this one. It sold nearly immediately. This was a Salt Valley Western Pro Snap shirt, medium, so it wasn't even a great size. $59.52, including tax and shipping out the door. Sold within, I want to say, about a week. So if you ever see Salt Valley Western shirts, pick them up. Let me check for wear, but usually I've had pretty good luck with them. They usually don't have holes like, Pendleton shirts do. So pick up Salt Valley. Lots of other people already talking about this, so it shouldn't be news to anybody. Okay, next up, I sell belt buckles, or that type of different types of buckles from time to time. This one was a Carpenter's Union buckle, 100th Centennial, 1987 copper belt buckle. This one sold for $36.08 out the door, including tax and shipping. So it's always first class shipping. These are pretty light and they do sit for a while, but when they sell, and I usually don't get a return on a belt buckle, and I haven't got one yet. So, but don't expect to spend a lot and make a lot on these. Usually it's between $20 to $40 on the high end. And you don't want to spend more than $1 or $2 on these things because they will sit and they may not go for very much. The rain spooner shirts do well for me. They are being priced up at thrift stores though, so be careful. This was inside out rain spooner shirt. So basically the design is on the front, on the outside is also on the inside. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but that's how I envision it. And inside, it's basically the same inside as it is on the out. This one sold for $26.54, and I've had this one for a while. I believe I've sold it and it was returned. But either way, good sale. I pick up Rain Spooner whenever I can, whenever it's a decent price. Don't pay up too much for them just because it's a great brand. I wouldn't pay more than, say, $5. I sell a lot of 1/6 scale, tiny little doll clothing, action figure clothing. So I've got a couple listings here that I thought were interesting. This is actually a pair of royal blue sneakers. It's about 1 inch long, maybe 1.5 inches at most. It goes on the bottom of like a G.I. Joe figure or something like that, or a Ken doll. And these ones sold for $38.08, including tax and shipping. They weigh next to nothing, maybe an ounce or two. And very slow sellers, I must say. But I have pennies into this, and I have boxes of this stuff. So I usually use this as listing filler. And what I mean by that is I have a lot of inventory, but I don't list these all at the same time. I'll list like 10 or 20, and then I'll list my other items. I'll go back to them. I have probably thousands of pieces of action figure doll clothing. And actually, that moves us on to the next one. Next one is another 1/6 scale figure piece of clothing. It's a faux leather jacket. It's kind of a 1970s shaft style overcoat, kind of that blood red color. This one sold, and it sold to a different person, actually not the same person. $19.70 for a tiny little jacket that fits on like a Ken doll. So like I said, these don't sell that fast, but when they do, they sell for decent money. I mean, I've sold $19.70. I've sold regular men's size jackets for that amount. Okay, next up, tank tops. I always talk about tank tops. This is another one. Nothing fancy. I just wanted to show you how unfancy this is. It's just a regular Superman tank top. Nothing fancy about it. Just a basketball style shirt. And it sold for $26.88. I picked these up if I can get them for $1 or $2, like I said, and they sell really well, especially this time of year when it's nice and warm. Okay, and I've got a couple more here. This I just wanted to highlight only because I like to pick up anything with martial arts, mixed martial arts, extreme sports. This is an International Taekwondo Federation martial arts t-shirt. Pretty plain, actually, nothing fancy about it. But so I highlighted the logo on this, even though it was only 2 or 3 inches in diameter. And it sat for a while, but it sold. I mean, $21.19 for about 50 cents of my buy cost there. So I'll take that all day long. Okay, next up, just want to show you this. This is a lot of Under Armour shirts. A lot of 7, various logos, different types of shirts. These have been sitting forever. So about a few months back, I started lotting them up. So these sold for $62.99. Originally, I had these all individually listed, and they were just sitting and sitting and sitting. Once I lotted these up, they seemed to start moving, and I've sold most of the lots that I made, so I'll probably have to go back and make some more. So a lot of 7 shirts, $62.99. Probably have about 30-40 cents per shirt in here, so not that much. So $62.99 including tax and shipping. I'm okay with that. And for the last item for today, this one was kind of a cool one. It's a vintage Barbie Loving You doll. It was original in the package, complete in package, but the box was beaten up. But I was happy to see this one go. It was something that I only got, like I said, a few weeks back, sold for $108, including tax and shipping, and it's going overseas. And I will see you on the next one. See ya.